Good morning, this is Martin Bölter, and this is number 11 of our video series about a book called An American Experience by Martin Boat. And this is about good credit, bad credit. And this is the one of the chapters on page 178 in the book. Now, America got it great, straight up. I think the credit score system is one of the greatest inventions on this planet because it is fairly simple. It is fairly simple to do. It is fairly simple to accomplish a decent or good or excellent credit score. All you have to do really is pay your bills. If I want to compare Germany here again, which is what the book is mostly all about, we don't have that here, or we don't have that over there. And the only indication you have whether or not you are in good standing with the banks, the credit institutions and all that good stuff is that you go to your bank basically and ask for money, and they either want enormous securities or they want nothing at all. Let me further explain that. Here, when you have good credit, you go to the car dealership and buy a car at this very minute, at this very moment, at this very time, very day. You drive there with your car, as happened to us. We drive there and we look at the vehicle because the salesman called us and said, "Hey, look at the vehicle here. You might be finding this of interest." So we drive there and we buy the new car. Okay, we take our belongings out of the old car, put it in the new car, drive off with the new car. Boom. Now in Germany, it's a little bit different. I have never bought a new car in Germany, but you basically have to have securities. If you don't have a long history, I assume, of always paying your bills and being always on time and stuff like that, I think they require you to have some securities, okay? Similar to buying a house. That's also one of the major differences. Here in America, if you work, you can buy a house, you can get a mortgage. And in Germany, it's not that simple. You have to have securities. That is mainly achieved with the writing over your life insurance to the mortgage company. Basically, when anything happens to you, when you get disabled or when you die, okay, the life insurance pays out, and that basically functions as a security for the amount of money you borrowed on your house. Whereby here in America, you have a good credit or an excellent credit even, and nobody really asks you for that. The only thing they were interested in us buying a house is that we both work more or less, and that of course wasn't really a total factor. It was a factor as far as the amount of money we can borrow for a house. That was a factor, that we both worked, okay? So that increased the amount of money we could buy a house for. But let's say if only I would have worked, or only if my wife would have worked, either one of us, that amount only would have been lowered as far as the amount we can borrow for a house. But it wouldn't have functioned as a distraction or as a stop to buying a house. And that's, I think, is a great idea. Of course, I don't know if there's any downside, but I hear it on television all the time, that you have companies who are handling your credit, and if you owe so and so much on your credit card, they will help you out. I don't really know what this is all about, but I'm sure that if you go this way, or even bankruptcy declaration, but I think if you go this way, it has to affect your credit score. I don't never hear anything on TV, but be aware that your credit score might be lowered. I think that is the case. But the whole system, I think, is great. If you always pay your bills, which is, I think, the main factor to increase your credit score, you are set. You can go out and basically buy anything you want on credit. Depends also of course, a little bit on your income. But even though I heard somebody or I know of somebody who is a soldier and who bought a truck and had a monthly payment of over $700, okay? And that's a little bit, of course, as far as I'm concerned, a little bit out there. I would not have done that. I would not have acquired a car payment of more than $700. I simply would not have done it. But he could have done it. He was able to do that because he apparently had either a good credit score, a good job, or a combination thereof. And that's quite amazing. That's quite astonishing to me. And in Germany, when you buy a car again, you have to have securities. Not to mention, of course, the cars are much more expensive. I always would say that where the euro compared to the US dollar is right now, I would say roughly comparable cars cost 20% more in Europe, especially in Germany. That I think is a given. And that has to do with competition. America is the country of the highest rate of competition. I don't think you can exclude any field of business out of this. Everybody wants to come to America and sell their product. So that tells you right there and then that this is a country of competition. And that's one of the greatest thing. You can buy anything for a decent price. You can even shop around like everywhere else and stuff like that. But basically, if you have good credit or if you have excellent credit, you have open doors, more so than you have if you have bad credit, obviously. But we are talking about comparison here. And I think if you pay your bills, if you get to the stage where you have 750 or above credit score, that will really set you up for a lot of conveniences. You get bombarded with credit card companies who want to give you a credit card because they know by your credit score that you always pay your bills, and that's how they make their money. They give you money, slap 10% on it, 15%, whatever have you, 20% sometimes, and sometimes it's 5%. If you deal with the credit card companies a little bit. And you have, or you can have, if you are so inclined, 25 credit cards, boom. Not to mention the credit cards you get from stores, apply for credit in any store, you get a Visa, MasterCard, whatever have you, with $10,000 on it, so you can buy any product from that particular chain or company for up to $10,000 on the credit card alone itself. And I haven't quite experienced that in Germany. And that's, I think, a great thing because if you have an emergency, if your power goes out, you need a generator. If you have water damage in your house, and the insurance company pays for the failure in the plumbing system, but not for the water damage itself, which was caused by the failure in the plumbing system. And then you go there and wonder, okay, what do I do now? Okay, I go to the bank, or I just use my credit card, which has the least amount of APR, and pay for the repair. So I think that's a great system. I think it's the greatest system. I think America's really blessed with that system, and that was a great idea. Germany and Europe is a little lacking and a little behind, and I think that contributes to the reason why the biggest and most influential banks are in America, because along the way they have done something right, which I think is part of the credit score system, And even though you have obviously some downfalls, you have people not paying their bills and buying stuff on credit cards and then not be able to pay it back, or buy houses, buy cars, not being able to pay it back. That's really part of the story. Your credit score lowers, but that's no different in Germany. If you can't pay your car note, some repo company picks up your car at one point or another. But at least you don't have to sell your life to the credit card company or to the mortgage company or to the car dealer before you can buy a car. So that's, I think, a great system. And I don't know if some people in America don't like it, but then it would be only because they don't have a great credit score and they don't on a regular basis pay their bill. And but that's only really you have to do, pay your bills over the years, and your credit score will go up. I think that's a great system, and we don't have this in Germany, and I regret that, but it is what it is. Okay.